What is up, everybody, and happy Mondays from here from ShadowZone. And I know it's a typical day where we don't do podcasts, but I got really excited for this podcast, and I'll tell you why here in a few. What's up, Cass? Mr. Lightwing, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm right here.
All right, all right. How you doing, brother?
Frantically getting ready to be on camera.
Well, make sure you're dolled up real nice, sweetheart. You know how our audience loves a good-looking man.
Yeah, I'm a bum and everybody knows it.
Or alien in your matter. Alien in your matter. So, man, we've got a killer guest tonight, dude, and I had to get her on as soon as we can. I'm sorry about the last minute warning. Johan, what's up, buddy? How you doing? So we have Rebecca Foster on tonight, brother, and she is a well-rounded doctor in the paranormal field, over 35 years experience, past life readings, all sorts of stuff, man. And I'm excited to get her on. What about you?
So far so good. I like what she has to say. I like the way she's using science to explore the spiritual.
Exactly. And I think it's going to make for a really good podcast and debate at the same time. Well, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can catch her doing something embarrassing. Come on. Come on. Oh, we're not going to catch her. She's a doctor. She already knows all these tricks.
Yes.
Dr. Rebecca, how you doing?
Hi. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, our pleasure, and welcome to ShadowZone Paranormal Podcast.
ShadowZone Paranormal. There we go. All right.
That's right. Hey, Cass, I got a question. How is it you look so weird with a beard, but with me, I look like a lumberjack?
It's the Kleinfelters.
I'm telling you, man, it's got to be a Colorado versus Washington thing, dude. Anywho, we're getting off subject here. Rebecca, my question is you're a doctor, so
Yes.
what all in doctorisms can you do?
Well, first off, I'm a PhD in health sciences. So I have my doctorate. However, I'm a clairvoyant medium. I've been professionally working as a medium for 36 years. And it kind of is wrapped up in a ball of medical intuitiveness and past lives, present, future. And I can talk to animals. I can talk to people who've passed over. I can talk to things around us, both living and dead. It's kind of a huge gift that just whatever God throws at me, I do it.
So it's kind of like Christmas over and over. It's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
So with that being said, if you said you can talk to people's deceased loved ones.
Yes.
Okay, if I were to ask you to do that for me or to give me a past life reading, you could do both of those?
I need
absolutely.
That window. I need that window as soon
Well,
as
I am definitely interested. Let's show these guys what you're all about. Let's do a other side reading. Let's get in contact with one of my lost ones.
Okay. All right. Well, interestingly enough, when I'm doing this, everything comes through from God, from spirit guides, and from people who've passed over. And they give me information symbolically. So I am shown different visuals and they drop the veil and I'm able to see all these different aspects of a person's life and those who are around them. And then I'm able to I explain what I'm being shown and then I explain what it means. So if I vibe on you right now, in this kind of a setting, your guides are going to give you information that they feel is most important for you to know. And if we're talking what's most important, okay. And I'm sorry, normally the camera are I'm looking in your eyes, but when I'm reading, I'm actually looking at everything around you, what your guides are showing me. And so
Gotcha.
the first thing your guides are actually showing me about you is it is about a past life. And I'm looking at the way you're dressed, your clothing. I would have to say you look maybe, it's very primitive, but not so ancient the way the ship is, but it's a ship. And I'm thinking maybe 14th, 15th, so yeah, about 15th or 16th century the way you're dressed. And you're seafaring, it's the weather is horrible, it's stormy. Now, the important part about this is when they give me past life information like this, it's because a person would have died in a situation like this, or this would have been the situation that killed that person, and they carry that residual information into this, or those residual lessons into this lifetime. So with them showing this, it's dark, it almost looks full moonish, almost a full moon, maybe just a waxing gibbous, it's almost there. And I can see the from where I'm at, the shadow of land, and that ship is almost to it. And so that's all I see is the shadow. I know it's a big ship. I see you on the ship. And so, with that being said, you may also be highly reactive to the full moon, or a couple days, 2 or 3 days around the full moon. You may find that it just really affects your energy, and that pull is maybe too much stress for you. You maybe get frustrated around the full moon. But I'm uncertain if you collided with this land or if you were parked there. However, the way you're dressed represents a long time on the water. And so you would also be somebody who carries over the ability to go a long time in stressful situations and go a long time. You might even find that you're a bit of a preparer in this lifetime. So you've always got some kind of a stash somewhere based on the fact that you would have been on a ship for a long time. It looks like you would have died from I would think that's some kind of cholera or something. And if that's the case, in this lifetime, you might find that you manifest these pseudo psychic health problems that would be digestive or stomach related. And so they may not have any real findings as far as if you go get tested that, hey, there's nothing wrong with your digestive system, there's nothing wrong with your intestines, but you are still suffering from those pseudo psychic kind of issues that would have killed you previously. It can also mean that you may even have a scar somewhere in that area from something that occurred in this lifetime. So stomach or intestinal scar. Now, with that being said, the only person that actually shows up around you is a woman, and I'm thinking that there's a like a like a B initial around her, but it sounds like a B initial, and like Betty or Barb or something, but a B. And she is standing actually behind you. She's much shorter than you, and I think maybe she shrank a little bit, but she is definitely walking up behind you. The color red is important to her. She is wearing something that reflects that color. Her hair is shorter. It is either gray, but gray or white in that tone, and she's got it curled, so it's either long and pulled back or it's just short and curled, but definitely off her shoulders, away from her face. She's telling you to. She said, take the trip, make the trip, take the trip. And she also is asking why you never took the opportunity. So what that means is she's pointing out on the water and she's asking you why you never took the opportunity as it presented to you. Why did you not take that? So there is something also that would be in your life that you may actually regret not having done. And she's asking, why didn't you take that? And it would have been something like a risk, because she's showing me like a deck of cards in her hand. So when you play cards, you have to, Am I winning? Can I win? There would have been question around, do you have a strong enough hand to play it? And so you may have doubted yourself and turned something down. And that the way that I'm asking her also, I'm asking her because I don't ask questions out loud. I do it telepathically. So there's an opportunity that's going to come back around to you. And she's telling you, don't be afraid to take it this time, to take it. But she's like a grandmother energy or something. It feels like the age difference that I see, she would have to be like a grandmother kind of energy.
I don't know.
And then I'm sorry. And then an L comes through. So I don't know if it's a Lou or Lewis or Lois, but an L comes through as well. I'm not picking up on anything on you, Cass, am I? With you here. But because I can.
Yeah, microphone's muted, buddy.
Oops. I suck.
No, you're fine.
No, you might be. You might be. Before you step into reading me, though, you will have to have a little bit of a talk. But yeah, please continue. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, no, but so before you said anything, Brian, that L came through. So like Lou, Lewis, Lois. But it's a big B, and I mean you're a B, so you could be the reference that she's talking about, Brian. But
you're being a little B.
That too. It's a big B. It's a big B. And she is incessant. Like she's not going away. She's not going away. She just keeps pushing you forward. Just like guiding you, pushing you forward.
So somebody with a B and somebody with an L.
Yes.
I don't know anybody with a B that's grandmotherly.
That's why I'm wondering if it's you that she's talking about.
And I don't know anybody with an L.
Yeah, she's incessant. She's just not, and she's repeatedly putting you in that position of you walking and her pushing you forward. And again, it's like her sweater is red. It's over and over that she's showing me this, and her feet, the way she's shuffling them, she's just kind of moving them like she would have had difficulty in life walking.
That describes my grandma Wanda.
Wanda. It's not even like a reverse dimensional J or anything. So,
do you see any animals with him? Like maybe guiding him? Like maybe, the grandmother guiding him towards this animal or whatever?
Like animals passed over?
Anything. I know how it works. You look and what you see is what you get.
Yeah, that's why I was looking to see if there was anybody like animals, because normally they'll just kind of do their thing and animals will come up on their own. But it's definitely it's like an L. I'm not picking up, and Wanda doesn't even sound close to it. And sometimes when I cross dimensions, like the letters will reverse or they'll flip. Yeah. So it wasn't even like an M to say, okay, that would be a dimensional flip.
Well, could it possibly be an E?
An E?
Yeah.
Is it Lyra?
The thing is are you thinking that this is somebody for you, Cass?
No. I'm trying to. I think I know what this person's talking about for Brian, and I'm trying to,
Okay, just so I know, because then I can. Okay, because sometimes I'll if there's two people together, I will twizzle them, and so if it was someone for you, I would separate them. But
I'm trying to keep my light body in. So
that's okay. She smells like brown sugar. She smells like a bake of some kind, but mostly like a brown sugar, a pastry. And now the thing with the smell is that it could be something she enjoyed, but it could also be heavenly things smell like sugar or spun sugar. It smells like um, like I can't think of it, cotton candy, that kind of a thing. And so sugar can represent that as well. But also, I guess pointing out that hot, like brown sugar and sugar melted will smell like caramel. But she's very much, I mean, and she's will not, the other thing too is she won't show me her face, which is odd. Well, it's not so odd, but a lot of times when a spirit doesn't show their face, it's because they would have felt that they passed unusually, or that they would have passed in a way that they felt maybe it was too early or too soon. And a lot of times when they hide their face, that will be the case.
Right.
Um,
Now, could it also be that it's hiding from you because it's angelic and it doesn't want to hurt you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
The angelic and angels and so forth, they just appear as balls of light, and they've never not appeared, at least in this aspect of seeing them. They don't they just appear as light.
could you possibly be picking up on either an E or a J?
The J is possible. If I, like I said, if I flip the L dimensionally, it could be a J. Mhm.
J would make sense. J and
Does-
E would make the most sense.
Does she fit that description though? Does she fit that? Like, I'm 5'6". I would think that she's maybe my height, maybe a little bit shorter than me.
Well, see, that would be for the E. For the J, it would be a very tall,
No,
kind of
she's
heavy
not.
set.
Mm-mm. Not even heavy set. No. Mm-mm. She looks like an average body, not super skinny, not heavy set. She's an average body.
For those of you who are in the audience wondering if she's cold reading, no, she's not. A cold reader won't stop and argue with somebody. They'll try to twist it around and figure out what they're looking at. So thank you, Dr. Foster. That was very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to listen to her speak, and I'm wondering if I'm going to actually pick you up. I'm going to move you really quickly, and I'm going to drop you somewhere else and see if I can see her from a different perspective. So when I read for people, the first place I go is a beach, so that everybody starts off on a beach if I can help it. It gives me more information, and then I just throw things at that person, or I pick them up and I move them. So if I pick you up and put you up on the dunes area, when I drop you here, there is a fence, and the fence looks out onto a giant field. And I'm just going to ask her really quickly. Okay, so she says she wants me to tell you that her right ankle was bad. She had swollen ankles. Her ankles were bad, like if she were wearing shoes that were too small, but they fit, but it would look like her feet would swell or her ankles would swell. And she's pointing out her right ankle.
Okay.
She is standing next to this woman is that I'm talking about. Again, she's maybe my height, maybe a little bit shorter, but she's not even like, she's not large breasted. She's not she's average all the way down. And she's in a skirt and these like white old walk-in nurse's shoes or something. So when I see her up on the field with you, there's a taller gentleman with brown slacks, a long sleeve, and what looks like a vest or something over that. But he's definitely taller. And I would think standing next to him, I'm kind of looking up. So I would think like 6'3", maybe tops. But he looks a little lankier. I would think though he's big, like he's got long arms and long fingers, like piano fingers. And I look at him and I think, wow, he looks like somebody who would be dressed for the 1930s. Just the way he's dressed is very casual wear, I think, 1930s, maybe early 1940s. Um, and he does this. So he's wearing a hat too. He's tipping his hat to me. And it's one of those like page boy hats that it's not even like it's not a ball cap, but it's like a pinched or something in the front.
Hmm.
You standing in front of him, you are wider than him. You are wider than him.
Okay.
You are, I think, all around bigger. I think you're just bigger than him all the way around. And, in time, that kind of stuff changed. I mean, people back then, there's no way we could fit in their clothes. They just were tinier people.
Does the word wrestling or lilac or fried potatoes and onions come into play at all?
No, but you know what I did see? I did see like an old baseball, like those that you'd see like something that's been played and like something you'd see with Babe Ruth or something, like an old baseball he wants me to acknowledge that you might collect, or it just looks overly used and cherished. He's showing me that. And then what sounds like an engine of some kind. What sounds like if we were to go to a race, but they don't sound like today's cars. It sounds like a different kind of a car. The motor doesn't sound too powerful. Oh, I just got the chills too. So I know. They're on. I mean, they're right on. Could this be anybody that's communicating to you, Brian, for your wife too? Because maybe if she can watch this later and see if there's anybody coming through to message with her as well.
Okay.
But like baseball bat, the baseball, I am not smelling any liver and onions. You said something. I'm not smelling anything like that. I do not smell lilac. Lilac will be one of the strongest things that comes through. I do not smell that.
Okay, so that marks out her. So it's down between an L and you said a J or a M?
No, it was when I had said that originally. The B, you're saying it doesn't actually make sense. It could be you are them trying to acknowledge you, Brian.
Yeah.
But the L that came through. However, when I'm doing this, and if I cross through dimensions, if it flips, it could be a J. A W would be an M, and I did not see the Wanda, so it was like a L or a J.
An L or
yeah, it came through as an L, but it could flip to that. It's really A could possibly look like a V, but I really wait to try to get them to say the name or a sound that'll really make sense. So it's not like you could say Lean and Jean. Oh yeah, they sound the same,
Right.
So, yeah.
I think you're picking up on my wife there. I think she I think recently somebody with the name of L or J had actually passed away on her stepdad's side.
Did they fall? Do you know if they fell when they died? Did they fall? The reason I ask is because this gentleman that's talking is saying about taking a fall.
That I'm not sure of. We would have to
fall.
talk to her stepdad about that one.
Interesting. Talk to her stepdad, you said?
Yeah.
He's alive.
Yeah.
And let me just look at his energy really quickly. If this has anything to do with him, it would have to be someone on his same level tier, which would be like brother, cousin level. It doesn't look like someone who would be that much older than him. And given the way the guy's dressed, I don't know. I don't think it would be him. I don't think it relates.
Exciting. I'm trying to think real hard.
It could, if it's a cousin or somebody, because he's born in the he would have been born in the 30s, her stepfather, so 30s, 40s. Could be
The
a
L.
cousin, brother. Yeah,
L.
it could be.
Yeah.
I'd ask him.
Oh, I do have a J that actually passed away a few years ago, and that was my cousin.
I don't feel that. I don't feel that at all. I am not able to connect that to you. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Paranormal. Hey, Bree.
Hey, Bree, how are you?
Well, this
Bree has a
is.
really good question, actually.
Oh, yeah, she did. Do you ever pick up people from previous incarnate? Sorry, the screen's so small. I ain't got my glasses yet.
Oh gosh, that's why I'm wearing these, or I wouldn't read any of it. Yes, no, I definitely pick up people, and like previous incarnations here. I think one of the coolest things is when children are really little, about you want to top it off at about 3 or 4, they will have this precise recollection of who they were in a previous life, and they can just be like, oh, I know that was me, or I did that, and they will tell you detail for detail for detail. Like my daughter is reincarnated from my great grandmother, Cinderella was her name, and when she was really little, she was about 3, she's like, Ma, do you remember when y'all used to call me Cindy and we lived in the white farmhouse? And I was like, what? And I knew that I knew that she was reincarnated, but I didn't know who of just yet. So that was really cool there. My son, when he was little, he was about the same age, about 4. I was watching TV on a special on Marilyn Monroe. He was folding laundry, and he walks in and he goes, I know her. I used to take pictures of her when I was Rafe Fast. And I'm like, wait, Rafe Fast or Rafe Ass? Like, which one? And he's like, Rafe Fast. And I was in Googling Marilyn Monroe, Rafe Ass, photographer. Of course, I never really found anything on him, but he was adamant. He's like, oh, yeah, that brunette woman next to him, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he just went on and on and on about Marilyn Monroe. It was the coolest thing. He still remembers it. So children are really cool
That's
about
very
that.
cool.
Yeah,
Well,
I love
Doc,
that. Yeah.
I have some good news for you.
Yes.
So I talked to my wife here real quick, and he has somebody with the beginning of his name starting with M. The last letter of his first name ends with an L. He was into collecting baseball stuff, and he was short. What color of hair did he?
Brown hair, brown eyes.
He had brown hair, brown eyes, about 5'8", 5'9".
So taller than me. He looked taller. He looks taller. I met him on a hill. Is that possible? He looked taller.
Does he have a message for Sarah?
Fine, I'll watch it if you want.
I can hear your kids. I'm going to end up starting to read them too.
The spirits say, mute your mic.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm waiting for him. I'm actually conversing with him right now. So I'm just trying to get what his purpose is of showing up. First off, he wants Sarah to know that he never thought this would be possible. That he didn't think him standing there talking to us is even possible. He was skeptical, and he was also someone who would have really said, you know what? No, show me. Like, I don't believe any of this. You need to show me. I want proof. So he would have been very, I don't want to say scientific, but very cautious and skeptical all the way around that this was even, he would have even told us we were blowing smoke up his bum, and he would have, this isn't real. So he just wants me to acknowledge that. And also is talking about, that almost feels like I don't know if it's diabetes or what, but he wants me to acknowledge he has problems breaking food down. So I don't know if it's a gluten thing. I don't even know if that was a big deal, but back then, but he has trouble breaking things down. So I'm really looking at him going, okay, what are we talking about? And he's like, pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie, but I had trouble eating it. So I don't know if it was a pumpkin allergy or sugars. So, and that may be why also they're coming through smelling the way he does, because if they couldn't do something in life, they will present something that, oh my gosh, I can eat all the cake in the world kind of a thing. But I think he was coming through smelling more sweet. And so that's interesting. So I'm wondering if he would have had like diabetes or a digestive issue as well.
And he did have diabetes.
Well, he did love sweets, and he did have a digestive problem as well.
Interesting.
Oh.
It just feels like he doesn't break it down well. Just not breaking it down well. And I don't know if that would have ever been diagnosed. Interesting.
You just came in contact with my wife's brother, who passed away. How long, baby?
2011.
2011.
Okay, because all right, so I must be twizzling him. I'm probably talking to her brother. However, I'm also picking up on this other guy who is again dressed much younger than he would have been when he died. So he's showing me in his outfit is like 1930s, 1940s. He's taller. So I'm picking up on several people. I mean, I could read your kids right now too. Like whoever that little boy was it your son that came in? I would watch for him and not sleeping well at night and having like attachment issue when he goes to bed or staying awake too much, because it looks like he's also seeing people around your house that may cross at night if he wakes up or he's seeing them, if he's having any kind of night terrors or difficulty sleeping or won't leave you alone. He looks like he is seeing things at night as well. And maybe he just brushes it off as sleeping, but it looks like from his bed, if I was in his bed, I would have a door and a light off to my right-hand side. Now, again, if it's dimensional, I might flip it. So it could be the left. But from my perspective, I am in this bed. There's a door to my right. And ahead of me is where I see two people walking by. And one is a woman with longer hair. And she walks through the door. And I'm watching her. Like I'm watching her right now walking through. And her hair is longer. And she's walking, and she's actually stopped at the end of the bed looking at me. Hi. And looking up. So remote viewing your
Is she a redhead?
It's like layered hair. It's fluffy. So it would be curly even or wavy at the same time. So it's just not flat. It's poofy even. And
Can you see the color?
I can't see the color. Her face though, her face is heart-shaped. She definitely has a pointed chin. Her nose is more, she's Caucasian. Her nose is more pointed, and it has a little bit right here of an arch to it, just a little bit. It's not like a slope, like we're not talking Bob Hope, and it's not squared, but it has a little bit more of a hook to it. It's not too much though. It's not like Rip Torn, but her nose is tapered, and it's not like mine, like straight. It has a little bit more of a bridge to it, and her eyes are light. She may have I would say that she would definitely burn in the sun because her skin is light, and she just walks and she stops and she looks at me like this, and she keeps walking. And this is in your child's bedroom. And she's barefoot. She would have been somebody who did her painted her toes in life too.
Now, you guys, I want to let you know now, I have not talked to anything about my kids or anything with the doc here. She had no clue that I had a 4-year-old boy or an 8-year-old girl. And what's trippy is me and Sarah, aka the Tater, sorry, honey, and Michael, we all share a room together. And from the bed, the doorway and the light switch is to the right.
Okay.
And that barefoot woman, can you tell, judging by her chest, does she have one breast or are they both still there?
I'm asking her. I mean, I'm viewing her right now, so I'm asking her. The way that the gown, she's got a gown on, and the way the gown comes down, the right side is up where the left side is down. So if she's trying to acknowledge right up, left down. The way she's turned as well. She, and actually too, her chest where her sternum is, it actually looks like it's concave a little bit where her chest is. So the breastbone would actually kind of divot in slightly. So she's trying to show me weight loss and trying to show me that I can see her ribs right here. She's trying to acknowledge this to me. She also just, as I'm watching her, just so from the bed, I'm seeing her left-hand side. She's like this, looking at me over here. And she turns and points to her right, which would be directly across the other side of the room where there's like a closet or a dresser or something. I can see something standing like in front of that, and she's pointing to that right now. And from what it looks, I don't know if it's a dresser with a mirror with like shelves or something, but it looks like there's something like I would take it off and I would hang it on the side. So a necklace, or she's wanting me to point out something that's hanging from this closet area or from this dresser. Ooh, I just got the chills. She's wanting me to acknowledge this. So is there, and then if I go to the end of the bed, I don't know why if I go to the end of the bed off to the right on the right-hand side wall, is there like a stack or mattress there or stack of something or a bed? Is there something off to the right-hand side of the room?
Let's see. Off to the right-hand side of the room is pretty much just the door and light switch, and there's a box kind of off to the side a little bit that's got a bunch of little diddly-doos in there.
Interesting. I'd go find out why she's wanting to acknowledge these things. Interesting. Very interesting.
Mike. Mute your mic. Thank you.
Yeah, she doesn't feel mean. She just feels like she doesn't want to leave. She just feels like she just is, and I don't really see her go from very many places other than if I was to go out the door and I go to the right, I would walk into like a living area or a kitchen or something. So it's like she follows a path, like boop, 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 boop. And she's follows a path.
Weird. Yeah, and it is kind of funny because my son, he'll wake up in the middle of the night and he'll just start talking. I mean, he's a nonverbal autistic child.
Oh, okay.
Smart.
That's so crazy. Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting. So the thing about that, okay, children with autism, they have such an incredible gift because there's no veil. They are able to receive information. And I think a lot of their issue is that they're misinterpreted of what's going on. And they're not able to express everything that they're being shown and what they see and what they hear. And they are just receiving these amazing downloads all the time because they're open to it. And so if he is seeing her and experiencing what a lot of autistic people do is that, regardless, it could be art, it could be math, it could be psychic abilities, whatever that they are attuned to. That's why I think there's such a vast spectrum of what could be happening, because I think they're just all gifted in one way or another. And it could be that they don't like being around people and they don't like to touch people because the physical aspect of that is painful for their spirit. It's just so I could talk for hours on it, but
Definitely.
that would make sense. That would make sense, because if he's having any kind of outbursts, or if he's kind of having anything that you're unsure is, why is he doing that, or why is he expressing that way? Maybe because he is trying to say that he's seeing all of these things and these people, and he can't express how.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Jessica wants to know, does she belong to the house?
Now you have both.
Oh, Jessica, the problem is that you have opened yourself up to other things. Meaning, at some point you have pulled out a Ouija board, or you have taken part in a seance. At some point you have questioned things in a way that you have opened all of those portal doors and welcomed those answers in. And once you do that, it's like, oh, hey, we've got a portal, we've got a light over here, let's figure out where it goes. And that never shuts. And so once that is open, everything that sees your light is able to identify it, which tells me that you must, one, be a believer in all things paranormal and occult and the rest. And the fact that you're even questioning that, do you belong to the house? It's not just that house. It's any house you live in. Any house you live in, you're going to all of a sudden absorb all of the energy of previous families. You're going to attract all these things to you that are finding your light. So you need to learn how to brush your teeth in the morning, put on your smile and your protective suit, because these things are always going to find you wherever you are, no matter if you're in Walmart or an apartment. Oh, it's a brand new apartment, I don't know what's going on. They will find you. So protect yourself, because when you think that you belong to a house, you obviously have something going on that is happening in there that's trippy. And the more you are open to it, the more it will suck you in. It takes faith, though. You gotta find your faith, and you have to be able to turn all that stuff away. Because, girl, if I did not have God, I would not be on this podcast with you right now, because it takes faith to be able to turn everything away. And that's what you need to do, because you could move 10 times. Hmm?
It's really funny that you mentioned that about connecting with people in your houses. We moved into a house about 8 years ago. We've been out of there a couple years now, but a couple of people in there died of a drug overdose. And weird noises upstairs at night. We thought we saw somebody in the upstairs bathroom using it. Somebody would take the muffins we just put on the plate and put them back in the pan.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
kids running up the stairs. But then there was this big shadow figure, about 6'8", probably about as wide as me. And he's followed me everywhere I've gone, from the time I got back from Crescent City to actual now.
Is this the guy that was showing himself before? That super tall dude that was standing there?
I think it is. And if it is, I know exactly who it is.
See, the thing about you, though, too, Brian, you've got some kind of native aspect going on around you, too. So I don't know if it's the land you live on or if it's your heritage, but you have some native stuff going on, like Native American energies around you as well. And what's really cool about that, I mean, you're in Washington?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting because you're in Washington, and again, not crossing the fine hairlines of the paranormal with cryptids. However, when you are on or around any kind of native energies, or grounds, you, especially in the Washington, Oregon area, you increase that likelihood of all those cryptid aspects and elementals too. So if you're open to this, you're going to attract everything. Like right now, I have a house full of brownies and pixies and fairies messing with everything in my house, taking things and stuff. And it's fun. It's good. But if you're open to it, they will all find you.
And that's really funny you mentioned that as well, because I have been told that during investigations, I am what they call a super beacon. And that stems from me studying and practicing Wicca for the past, 5 or 6 years. And also my mental disability, which allows me to be more sensitive than usual, to where I can feel good and negative energy within the first 2 to 3 minutes of talking to somebody, and I'll know whether to keep engaging or to walk away because they're trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question.
Go ahead, yes.
So why on earth would someone like you tolerate having a variety of predatory energetic beings in your home?
They're not. They're really not. Depending on what you invite in, you have to be careful, of course. But pixies and brownies, fairies, they are not. They're not negative. They're actually very helpful, and they're fun. They're tricky. They do hide things. You turn around and something's just gone, and I'm like, well, that was the fairy. So, they used to come to me when I was really little, and so I just reforged that relationship with them, and took some time of gaining their trust again because I'm an adult. But they're around a lot. Fairies are around a lot. Yeah, and they're fun I'm happy to have them here. I protect them from the cats. I don't let the cats in certain places where I know they are, and talk to them every day. Hey guys, it's just me. Don't be afraid. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Treating them with respect is a very good thing.
Absolutely. They like honey too. They like honey.
Yeah.
They like flowers that are cups to hold all their stuff. But yeah.
And Marcus says, my childhood home is a place of fear. The negative energy it has soaked into the foundation.
And properties do that.
Need to clear it out, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't.
Jessica said, wow, the question was if the lady she was talking about belong in the house, but hey, I take it. Okay. Well, man, I mean, you came in contact with my wife's brother, and that was amazing. You're the first person to do that, and I'm still kind of tripped out about that. And you, Dr. Rebecca, have an amazing gift.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, when you say you can speak to animals, is it living animals or deceased animals?
Both.
Like how does that work? Can you walk us through that?
Well, animals have a voice just like people, so it's easy to talk to them. They sound just like humans. And I always tell people, if you're going to kill someone, don't do it in front of your dog, because they actually talk about it. I was able to help a couple situations where the animal was present when someone was murdered, and they helped solve the case. So,
Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah. And animals will come through, for instance, if their owner, if they're passed over and their owner is dealing with a health issue or not taking care of themselves. One time a dog came through and said that a living dog came through and said that there was a peeping Tom. They weren't just barking. He wasn't just barking out the window. There at night there was a person outside the back patio. And so the owner was like, "Oh my gosh, my dog's barking every night." And so, yeah, animals are quite helpful, and they will reveal everything about their owners. So I use discretion when I'm talking to animals.
Wow. Well, remind me never to plan a murder or have you
Not with
talk
an
to my
animal
dog
around.
about anything.
Yeah, just don't do it in general.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Rebecca, you seem
Mhm.
to utilize shamanistic observation techniques combined with an ecumenical Christian framework. Is that about right?
Yes, it absolutely is. And I think because I've done so much studying where religion is concerned, I have really not only just Christianity but Buddhism and Islam.
Yeah.
I've looked at all of them just to get a better understanding of where's everyone coming from. And in truth, they're all the same story, just reiterated differently according to the people and the political agendas of those time frames. And so, if
See,
you,
but whenever I try to report that back to my people, humans get pissed off.
of
Okay.
course they do.
Why?
Of course they do. And because it completely destroys what they have learned. And you can still love God and believe in God and know that there are aliens out there that have also played a role in all of our historical events and happenings, and that the chariots that came out of the sky were not like a horse-drawn carriage, but rather an actual UFO, which I have actually seen firsthand. So I know that they exist. They're also very telepathic. You can be a clairvoyant and talk to angels and God, just like you can be telepathic, clairvoyant, and speak to alien beings, which is also there. Is Sasquatch even? I mean, they're highly telepathic and they also converse that way. So once you open yourself up to the ability that's within all of us to do these things, you are opening yourself up to whatever you feel you can do. And as long as you don't place a limit, if you just go, I'm empathic, no, you're more than that. Don't just say that's what you are, because there's more to it. That's just the touch, like the tip of the iceberg. So, but yes,
So,
I do touch on all the religions. Yes.
what if I were to tell you that the Christ entity appeared on our world as well, suffered a similar fate, and basically that's the same story pretty much around the galaxy? Christ appeared everywhere to everyone. And
Yes.
that's one of the things we're trying to share with humanity.
Yes. It's true.
Cool.
And he's in Islam. I mean, Jesus Christ is in every religion out there. So let's look at the different species and stuff of aliens, and you look at the Hindu religion.
Yeah.
A lot of them are blue. A lot of the Hindu gods are blue. it's so
In that particular case, the art, the science of art history comes into play there. The like
yes.
Shiva and the Deva, they were not actually blue skinned; they were normal skinned. The electric blue is meant to be a representation of their aura.
Right, and they're like they are blue in
Yeah,
appearance, and that's how they saw them. For instance, too, like Jesus Christ and the different. Well, if you look at like Yahshua, J is not a Hebrew letter. There's no J. It's
nope.
Yah, and then people through time, it's Yahshua, Zeus. You look at all the different religions and all the different mythologies, and people have a hard time with that because it destroys their believe me, you can have severe faith, awesome faith, like just it's never going to crumble faith. You can have all of that and you can still believe and understand that all these other things do exist, but
Right.
it's a control factor as well.
Donnie asks, "What if I don't believe in just one God? It's irrelevant. Truth is truth." Okay, in time, species will evolve to the point of energetic consciousness, and then you'll know. But until then, faith is the prime engine by which all this functions. You have to have faith in whatever it is you believe in.
Correct.
Okay.
You're correct. And I tell people that, I'm not going to try to shove religion down people's throat. It's whom you pray to, it's who you believe in. And as long as you have a power that you go to for help and guidance beyond yourself, that's going to feed you positively and lead you in the right direction, you know what? That's more than nothing. And I know that I have my own personal belief. I know what I've seen. I know what I talk to and who I talk to. I know what they look like. Or in the name of, like, in the terms of God, from the shoulders down, he never shows me his face. So
Otherwise, he'd be dead.
you know what? And that's true. Like, Christ shows himself as a human aspect, like he would. But God, no, he's always shoulders down, never his face. Never.
Yeah. When I'm dealing with someone and trying to figure out if they're telling me the truth or BSing around, one of the first things I'll ask them is, how did you survive seeing God's face?
Mhm.
And if they're bullshitting, they'll usually try to duck around. They very often don't even know that in the Bible it tells you the exact result of seeing God's face.
Isn't it interesting?
Right. The thing is what I'm trying to look for is, is like you said, like with what you experienced, that shamanistic metaphor. See, Christ is in all of us. If you believe in Jesus, then you can't
Yes.
argue with it. The dude said it himself. 1 Corinthians 12. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
For you Christians in the audience, the question isn't whether or not this stuff is real. The question is, what do you accept? What do you believe?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So for
Absolutely.
me, it would be, I believe in the gods and goddesses with the Wiccan.
My
But
wife
at
is
the same time, I've been studying up on the Nordic religion as well. The Vikings, all their gods and goddesses. I mean, there's so many different names
Mhm.
for gods, goddesses, Jesus, God, devil, Satan. To a lot of people, it's confusing. I mean, do I go with God? Do I go with Buddha? Do I go with this God, that God? And what I tell people is, when you find what religion works for you, that's the religion you need to go with.
100%.
Because I've been to a lot of religions. I've been through Christian, I've been through Mormon, Seventh-day Adventist, Satanism. But the only one I haven't tried is devil worshipping, and that's only because I won't sacrifice a chicken. But that's just me.
I've never seen a Diabolist sacrifice a chicken, believe it or not. I've seen cats, goats, but I've never a chicken.
Oh my. No, I could share stories about that too, but I can tell you what. I don't care who I'm reading for. If it is someone who is Muslim, if they're Buddhist, if they're Taoist, if they're Christian, if they're Catholic, it doesn't matter what they ascribe to religiously. They are getting a reading from God. That's it. And it's their God, or the God of, there's ultimately one consciousness, and that's where it all goes. And regardless of where they're getting it from, it's all, you couldn't, I don't care what you speak. If you may never speak even English, and I've read for people in India, and they get the messages that are coming from them. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're getting this message, and it's from Shiva. Or I mean, I get the craziest stuff when it comes to that, and it's the coolest stuff. And I've seen people walking down paths with monkeys in yellow, and it's like, wait a second, how is he come on here? How is this happening? And
okay, that would weird me out a little bit.
Yeah, just a little
it's
bit.
really cool though.
Well, you have to understand that my mythologue for monkeys is not pleasant, bro. So that if I saw something like that, it would probably mean something different than when she sees it.
Well, Doc, we're hitting the hour mark. Did you want to do an encore? Because I think we can pull off another hour. What do you think?
I got questions.
I definitely go for another 30 minutes. I can definitely do 30 minutes.
Fair enough. Cass,
Okay.
you get one question. I get one question. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot goes
No,
first.
it's your show. You go first. I'm just the producer.
Raymond says, I believe in energy, that the source of that energy, there's many names, but it's just the source of energy. All
It's
right.
true. You know what?
So-
I will say this, Raymond. Was it Raymond? Yeah, I will say this.
Yeah.
I actually spoke about this today earlier, that if we were to unzip this meat sack that we're all in, we would be a ball of energy. And what gets how do you get energy? If it's connected to something, you've got your ball of light here, it's got to connect somewhere. And that silver cord that we have that keeps us tied into our bodies, it allows us to jump out of our bodies, which is astral projection, but it pulls us back in. It's connected to the source, the energy source. And so that's how it helps people in a basic way understand that God is in each of us. Just like, you've got lungs, you've never seen them, but they are in there. You've got a heart, you've never seen it, but they are in there, just the same way that God is in every single last one of us. But that's about, but we are all energy. We're energy balls contained in a 90% water meat sack.
Balls of mostly water. Sorry, Star Trek joke.
That's funny.
My wife just informed me that my 4-year-old is sitting on the bed staring at a corner by the door, and he is just nonstop babbling.
He's happy.
Like, he's happy, but he can tell there's somebody there.
That's not something that happens a lot.
That
Okay.
don't happen.
That's very interesting because do you have like a deck of cards? Do you have any cards around that you can?
Our daughter has unfortunately destroyed my deck of cards.
Okay. Trying to think of what you could give. Do you have a ball, like a small ball that you can give him?
Tater, do you know where a ball we can give him is?
Probably. Hold on.
Okay, she is currently looking. But my big
I would.
Oh.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I would bet that if you hand him the ball, he may try to throw it at her to catch.
Okay. See if he throws it.
Let them know the ball's green.
The ball is green. It's a ball pit ball. Go see if he throws it at that corner. So sorry, Cash, go ahead.
While they're doing that, there's an audience member I need to answer real quick.
Mhm.
Christopher
Oh, yeah.
says there's only one God, Jesus Christ, love. I see where you're coming from, and I appreciate your faith and the fact that you feel strong enough in your faith to stand up. But let me ask you a question. Who pulled you aside after the fall of the Tower of Babylon and told you what the real words were? That's what I want to know. In your own Bible, it says that God changed the name for his own self along with the language and then scattered the people to the four winds. Every single religion on your planet has the same story, yet every single one of you decide, well, no, but our special word is the right one. Dude, God is good and great, yes? Then don't you think maybe he's a little bit bigger than your understanding and you really shouldn't be judging on people and say, no, that's not the right special word. Chill, bro. The universe is way bigger than you think.
So my question, Doc, and very well said, Cass, is can you do like dream readings, for example?
I don't know. That's one of the things I don't do. I think it's such a vast element of reading. I don't, and unless somebody comes through at the last minute to share a message, that's as far as it goes. But as far as what Chris said, again, I think it's like a personal thing. Myself included, I believe in so many different things, and I was raised in so many different ways religiously. All of my friends were Catholic, so I spent every Wednesday or in the summer or a weekend. If I was to sleep at their house or spend the night, I had to go to church with them in the morning or that night. So I just got used to it. And I really, because of the aspect of what I do and the demonic possibilities that happen, I do really fall back on the Catholic religion, the saints. And when it comes to Buds, I mean, I'm best friends with Christ. Like, he is the man. God is the man. And so for many people, that's the way it is. That's the way to heaven. And I just know that is a fact for me, but also I understand that he is represented in so many different religions. And with what I've seen, I can't argue that he is one of that pyramid, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But again, I'm never going to try to push that down someone's throat. It's up to them to figure that out. I will tell you guys this really cool story, and I know we're going to get out our 30 minutes. I'll let you answer the questions, and I will stay to answer them. But I once did a reading for a woman who wanted to know if her brother was okay, I think it was. And he was an atheist. He never believed in God, never believed in God. And she asked if he was okay. And I said, well, let me see if I can find him. So I'm reading for her. He shows up and I'm behind him and I'm walking in a dark tunnel. It's just dark. But we get to a point where I can see enough light that I know there is a floor in front of us, that nothing beyond it. And then it kind of goes up to an arch. So I knew we were getting to the edge of something. And I was like, what is going on? And he stops and he's looking around and he's looking and he looks down and he doesn't see anything. But we both, all of a sudden, we hear this music. I mean, look at the chills. Look at this. I'm getting those massive chills going on here. And he looks up and he listens. And he stood there for a while, and I stood there quietly listening, and he's trying to ponder in his mind, like, okay, there is no God. I believe there is no God. But where is that coming from up there? And nothing is coming from down here. And he, all of a sudden, he goes, as a total, all of his life non-believer, he says, God, if you're really there, then catch me. And he plugged his nose and jumped off of this. And I watched him go phew and take him straight up. Like, he just, oh my God, look at this. Chills. He just this shoop and grabs him and takes him up. And the message to his sister was, in that moment of never believing in God, he knew that music was coming from somewhere. It was beautiful. And he just took a leap of faith, literally said, if you're there, God, catch me, and he did. And I mean, I was almost in tears reading for this woman because I thought, I've never seen anything like that. And even just talking about it, it's like I'm shaking from it. And so, again, I think everybody has that option at the very end to go, okay, I believe you're there. I believe you. And it doesn't matter what you've done in life. Just like any parent loves a child unconditionally, you have the opportunity to go to heaven as long as you don't judge yourself to hell.
There you go. Now, my question is the final question of the night for me. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Cass.
No. I'm just doing a bit. Go.
Don't make me start naming songs, butthead. Like dude. Ride the Lightning.
The audience has been trying the whole time. I got one, that's the lion in the middle. I'm like, oh my God. And the lion's in the middle and the silver spoon. Dr. Rebecca explains everything real good. Yeah. I've been trying to say the whole time. Okay. No. I do this thing. If somebody mentions like a song lyric, it'll be like try to pound out of my head. So I've been being good the whole episode.
That's the final countdown. So, yeah. Doc, my question is, if you can do past life readings and everything, if somebody gives you the name of somebody they want to get in contact with, can you in fact contact that person?
If they come through, I mean, I will allow, when I'm reading for people, they are welcome to ask for someone, and I will look to see if they're there. My channels are always open. Excuse me.
Right.
For people to come through, but they have a life. Like, they are not just hanging out waiting to talk to us. They are in a
Yeah.
beautiful heaven that they've created in, up the, everyone has their own house in heaven. And there's people that bake in their heaven. There's people who drive trucks, who golf, who fish. It's their heaven. It's whatever they choose to do up there. And
But is it hell for the fish?
is it what?
But is it hell for the fish?
I don't think so. I think they're all tossed back. But I can see sometimes they'll just stand there and let me see them, so I can go, okay, this is somebody, this is what they're doing. They want me to acknowledge it for that person who I'm reading for. Sometimes they'll come through to bring clarity as to I'm okay, or this is how I died, or this is what happened. But I can't make them come through. And I do, if I see someone trying to converse and they won't come through the dimensions to me, I've learned not to go find them, because it makes my eyes droop and it's exhausting, and they pull and pull, and it's like, nope, you come here, because I can't do that. It's too much.
Okay, so
So you
if
don't
I were
disturb
to
the
say-
dead.
Yeah, what?
So you don't disturb the dead when you do this.
I know, and I will not question them
cool.
either, ever. They have to come to me. I will not ask them questions. They have to just talk and share. But I will not go to them. They have to find me.
Respect.
So if I quickly just say the name James Wyatt.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What? Go ahead. Yeah. All right. What did you say, James? What?
James Wyatt McCraw. Does anything come through just from a quick glance?
Well, yes, I was going to say it because I was like, he wants to talk to James. And then all of a sudden I was like, my chest got really heavy. Like, I really have to cough. I have to clear my lungs. I have to cough. I feel like I just inhaled dust or something. I just feel like I'm trying to, that when you inhale something and you're just repetitive coughing. So he's trying to acknowledge his chest and something to do with that. And it feels like a dry hacking cough. It just feels like there's fluid down below. I can't get it out, and all I do is cough. I also, it looks like almost either emphysema or something to do, or because it looks like his alveoli, everything is collapsing in his lungs, and that exchange of oxygen is just, it's so dried up, it's almost dead. So each aspect of where oxygen is exchanged is just minimizing and minimizing. So it's almost like he would have suffocated.
Funny you mentioned that, because James actually did have COPD and emphysema.
Wow. Okay.
That's
Nice.
a nice combination.
That's
And,
that's a dangerous, deadly combination. And he's there.
Well,
He was there before you even asked.
We'll talk about that after the show, because I know Cass wants to ask his question.
Mine is a sort of a multi-parter.
Okay.
Firstly, Beth says, you choose service to self or service to others path. How you journey back and with God's source is personal and free will. Jesus came to mirror Christ. Sorry, I'm legally blind, so it's hard for me to see.
That's fine.
Consciousness and service to others path, basically love. I would agree with that. That I think is the closest path to the Christ consciousness is service to others. You know.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
My biggest thing that I try to express to Christians and everyone alike is, above all else, you're supposed to love. You're supposed to love one another, because it covers over a multitude of sins. And that means you're not judging people for who they love or how they dress or what they do, because it's not your business how someone else lives their life. That's between that person and God and Christ. And if you're a true Christian, you're going to respect those laws, and you're going to respect all of those perspectives, because Jesus, I can guarantee you, did not wake up every day and go, I'm going to go find myself some gay person and I'm going to rip them out. I'm going to go find myself a person who dresses. He doesn't do that. God and Christ are love. And if you don't respect that very basic law, then you can't preach anything else to people. It's just, you just can't. It's between the person and God. He loves the sinner. He doesn't like the sin. Leave it up to him to judge. Why does he? It's why we're not supposed to judge. Because if you're going to judge Mary Jo and Harry and Curly and everybody else, then when you die, you're going to hold everything against yourself that you've ever done. You're going to judge yourself straight to hell. And that's what everybody should be worried about. Do you walk around judging everybody all day? Because God didn't. Christ doesn't. It's us. We do all of the judging. And so,
yeah, Shelley.
Right? And we're going to judge ourselves right into hell. You just can't do that. You have to accept people and not tolerate. You need to accept people. I don't want you to tolerate me. I want you to accept me. And if you don't like them, flip the page. Go to the next one. You don't have to stick around, you know?
Well, before I get to Jessica's question, Cass, did you already ask your question?
Not yet. Getting to it.
All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Cass. Ask your question.
So first, to any Shelleys in the audience, that's a very specific Shelley. She's a very lovely Christian lady who's trying to prevent my daughter's heart transplant because it conflicts with her religion. So yeah, we say hi to Shelley a lot on the show.
Mm.
So,
wow. You know what? If God is going to provide your daughter with a heart and the ability to get it done, then what kind of a human ever gets in God's way? If God says, here, I have this gift for you, what do? Put it on a shelf and say, I don't really think so today, God. I'm going to just go put that, you open that gift and you thank him for it. Just like if I give you something that I think is important and you say, I'm going to put that away. I'm not going to open it now. I'm like, well, give it to me. I'm going to take it to someone, give it to someone else. If God is going to give you the gift of knowledge and the gift of something like a heart to live longer, you take it.
Right. Exactly.
Now,
that's my point of view,
If, a lot of Christians and Mormons and everybody will say that in their Bible, people that are gay or gay-like will go straight to hell. And they judge all these different gay people, including bashings and judgmentals and everything like that. But in your opinion, do you believe that if gays believe in God and worship God, they will go to heaven, or is gay being a sin and they'll go straight to hell?
No, this goes back to what I was saying before to Cass. Religions are all, it's God's word, it's God's story. However, man, according to their time, their agenda, and their politics, went and wrote their stories based on what they wanted. And the misinterpretation of man should not lie with man was man should not lie with boys, which meant no pedophilia. Do not sleep with children. It's against the law. It has nothing to do. And you know what's funny is nowhere in there does it say women shouldn't lie with women. It says men should not lie with boys. And it was misinterpreted and became a homosexuality, and it wasn't. It's pedophilia.
Yeah. There's an actual date for that, by the way, when they switched it over. What a lot of people don't realize is that Leviticus is basically a rule book for survival in the desert, so they try to make it this bigger than it really is. But none of the Leviticus laws were in the 10 Commandments. Okay. But for example, my favorite example of this one is the women, the Bible says women are unclean when they're menstruating. Okay. Hold on there, Baba Louie. In the desert, what do you have a problem with? Things like lions dragging you off by your crotch in the middle of the night because you're bleeding. So it says that women should go out to the edge of the village. Now, what people have forgotten is that's where the warriors were. Okay. When a woman is menstruating, she was sent to where the warriors were so they could protect her. All right. The uncleanliness, it's a complete mistranslation. And the funny part is you can get like rabbis. You can get rabbis arguing about this for hours, and they have really surprising insights. But more than that, didn't JC say something about the covenant being fulfilled? Like that's even if it was a sin back then, isn't it not now? Because JC gave us 2 sins, and that wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm a doctor of metaphysics. I've studied all this crap.
No, I think it's all very interesting. I think it's wonderful. So
Big Cass. We got 10 minutes left. Ask your damn question. Hurry up. Let's go.
Okay. So condensing for time, corporate Dallas. Okay, so what do you think of the theory that I dropped my fake cigarette. It's a fake cigarette, so I have something to fiddle with. What do you think of the theory that the 144,000 are currently assembling?
Ugh. You know what? Okay, so if we look at right now, my biggest thing in everything that's been happening, I look at all of the different signs. Is that what we're talking about? The different signs of how things are unfolding and coming to be in this world right now?
Sort of. People often go there because there's a lot of things happening that kind of mirror Revelations. But I'm talking about specifically the 144,000 souls. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, yes. And actually, I was listening to something today that was talking about it was talking about how the two, I thought it was more than that, actually. I thought it was 200 million.
There's different numbers according to different belief systems.
Okay. Because I think in all aspect of that, I think that that's always just been like tapping on the window anyway. And I think that we all have that ability to, those souls, even the demonic aspect of that, that they say that they're going to come and take all of what is it, a third of the people off the planet? Yeah.
A third part.
I think it's always tapping at that window. It's always been there. And it's what's being created right now with the division and the hate. And it's everything is very binary. It's very black and white, this or that. You're this side or that side or what, and nothing, like people have disallowed any form of gray. And so it's become a yes or no, or you're my side or that side, and a lot of hate. And that is what I think is increasing the potential for that to actually be. And I think that faithful people, believers in what could potentially happen, they're the ones that are preparing for everything right now and stocking their shelves. And they're the ones that are, like myself, I'm trying to get people to just love one another, but it's so hateful. And all of that goes right up to the collective. And people are going, why do I feel so sick today? Well, to go back to what you had originally asked, I think that they're at the starting line. They're just waiting, they're brake torquing, going, when are they going to finally open the gate so we can run with this? And right. I don't know what the human population is going to do to finally push that gate open to where that 144 souls, I think it's more than that, but until they see the outcome of that, what are people going to, I don't know. Did I answer that properly for you?
It was a very thorough answer. Thank you.
Okay.
So building on that, well, I'm not done. Building on that, what do you think of the four living creatures?
The what?
The four living
creatures from the Bible. The four beings. They're not quite angels. They're not quite human.
They're more like. Yep. Okay. I wasn't sure if we were like cryptid. Yep. The lion. Exactly. Yeah. We're gonna probably cross boundaries here because in all respect, I do believe that some of it was misinterpreted, and that we're talking about ET, extraterrestrial, which were right on the boundaries of all that stuff. And
that's what I thought.
Yeah. And that's what people get upset about. It's because you're crossing the boundaries. Question. But I think they're going to show up, but not in the form. That's all they could describe them as, maybe as chimera and so forth.
Right. Kind of like how the ancient Hindus depicted the skin. So my question, I've been watching you very, very carefully on multiple dimensions. Mm-hmm. How long have you known we're here?
How long have people been here?
No. How long have you known personally that we are here?
Okay, I don't understand. Like we as people, how long have we been here?
No.
How long do I know?
The visitors. The ETs,
Oh,
hyperdimensional
the ETs?
intelligences, my people. Yes.
That people. Okay, they've been here forever. And
Right, but how long have you personally known? When did you first smell us?
when I was, well, when I was 4 is when I was introduced to everything, but not until I was about 8 did it really hit me that, hey, we're not alone. So
Would that be 1993 by chance?
no, but thank you very much.
Sorry, if I said something insulting.
No, you didn't
1993
say
was a
anything
pretty big year.
insulting. No, we're all
Okay.
good.
You
We
just
are
made
all
Doc
good with that.
day, brother.
Huh?
I never know if I'm insulting humans or not, bro.
You are not. You're not insulting me at all. That was a nice
Okay.
given. I will take that. Because how old was I in '93? I was 20. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, gotcha.
Yes, you were maybe beginning to mid 30s.
Thank
I
you
pay-
very much. It's just my
I-
nightly routine.
Well,
And
there's also something to be said biologically for spiritual living, deeply spiritual living. I'm about to spin off into biology here. Deeply spiritual living inspires the cells to increase production of things like, I want to say colostrum. That's not it. Collagen that allows, it basically reduces aging. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Being happy, not stressing out.
Yeah.
Letting go of things, literally, not like just saying the words. It's going, you know what? I don't want to deal with this today. I'm getting some ice cream and my floppy clothes and I'm Netflixing it and I'm not going to worry anymore. I can't stress the importance of that self-care.
Yeah.
our final question of the night, Dr. Rebecca Foster,
Mm-hmm.
is from Jessica, and she says, do the spirits tell you if they committed suicide or if they got murdered? Because it was crazy with my brother Joel.
Okay, so Jessica, I can tell you this. It was definitely not suicide, but it looks like it's with your brother. There are 3 people with him. There are 3 gentlemen with him, and he seems to be looking up at them from a ground point. So there was not suicide. That looks like there was 3 people with him. And yeah, suicides come across differently, and they have a different vibration. When they speak to me, they are more like a broken cell phone connection. And that's one way that they're able to tell me that this is how it happened. And so they'll like, they'll break up originally, and they show themselves in what is kind of like what people call a purgatory, but it's really not where you're stuck. It is a place of forgiveness that they have to go through a process. And so that's not where he's showing himself. He's putting himself right in the position of 3 gentlemen looking down on him. If that answers your question.
All right. Well, Doc, it's about time for us to end our show, but I'm going to put you in the back. Please don't go anywhere. There's still a few more things I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
And for our fans, followers, newcomers, cast, myself, everybody in global, how do we watch what you do and how do we get in contact with you?
Sure. I have, my website is godstool.com, godstool.com, and all my social links are on there. I do a lot of free galleries on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and I do private readings as well over the phone. And then I travel the country. I do investigations in galleries, but I'm also an author, so you can go on to Amazon and check out my books on Amazon as well. Just search me.
Beautiful.
What form of doctor are you?
I am
Medical doctor?
Yep, I am. No, I am a PhD in health sciences.
Okay, cool. So,
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I have
All right.
questions for you after the show too. Very, very serious ones.
Okay.
Well, we will see you here in a few, Doc. It was very nice having you on the show tonight.
Thank you. It was a good
You have
time. I
a great
appreciate it.
night, and we'll see you here in just a few.
Thank you. Good.
Well, Cass,
That was good. I like her.
me
Yeah,
too.
I always love it when we have somebody like a scientist on that studies that, but that was really cool.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that she hit on my wife's brother,
Right?
And now that my wife is out of the room, and because she gets kind of sensitive with me talking about it,
Yeah.
he
Shoot.
committed suicide when he was like 20 or 21 years old. And what she said tonight, my wife had to leave the room because she started crying.
Yeah, we get that a lot in this business. I'm very impressed with her ability to handle that kind of emotionality. Not a lot of readers can.
Most definitely. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. It is Into the Mystic with Shannon Boomgard and Richard Guthrie. And their special guest will be none other than Marin.
Oh, Marin! Oh, Marin hasn't been on for a while. Okay, really quick before we go, do you guys?
Raymond, it's been a good show, guys. Thank you, Raymond. And just to let our audience know, so they don't get confused with the way things are going to happen from now on. As you all know, I have a 5.5-month pregnant wife that it's getting very hard for her to do certain things, around the house. So I have to start taking on my fatherly responsibility a little more, which means I'm going to be missing your guys' beautiful faces starting here soon. Richard Guthrie, one of our co-hosts, will be running the Tuesday podcast, which is Into the Mystic, the Wednesday Worldwide Paratalk, and a new show we're coming up with on Thursday with a tarot card reader. And then Friday and Saturday, you guys will see my beautiful face. And I'm coming up with the show specifically on Sunday that is going to be just for anybody to come on, shoot the breeze with. And we're going to have a great time doing it. Cass, anything else before we go, brother?
Just one thing for the audience and for the doctor backstage. Do you guys appreciate it when I chime in and support them, the guests, or not? Is that too much? Like earlier when she was giving signs that she's not cold reading, was it a good idea to support or not?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. And from everybody here at ShadowZone, I'm Brian, your ghost host. This is Cass, your otherworldly species.
Cass, the ass, Lightwing.
And like I said, make sure to tune in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Into the Mystic with Shannon and Guthrie. It's going to be an interesting show. Guthrie sucks at podcasts, but hey, that's all right. He'll make it through. Just kidding. Love you, Guthrie. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see y'all later.